Hello everyone, it's Karina with Karina Loves to Plan. Thank you for joining me in my little corner of the internet where I talk all things planners, inks, and fountain pens. And I am here with you today with a new pen that I purchased at the Pacific Northwest Pen Show. It was my only purchase actually from the Pacific Northwest Pen Show. I feel like I really restrained myself at the Pacific Northwest Pen Show. So I'm so excited to take you through this pen today. So this pen is actually the WANCHER Frozen Sake. Now, I did mention this a little bit in my haul video in my Pacific Northwest Pen Show, but I wanted to go into this in a little bit more detail here. So what first attracted me to this pen is just the beautiful color of the body. And when I first saw it, I didn't actually see how different the finials looked from the body. So I'll bring that closer here, move my fake plant. But just that beautiful shade of blue and then all of that shimmer in the body. And then in the finials, you've got kind of a smoky white, almost grayish lilac color. So basically what that means is that, this frozen sake fountain pen, I'm reading from the website here, it evokes the elegance within Japanese history. And this pen expresses the purity of clear liquid sake, the traditional alcohol from Japan, as well as the frozen glacier on the top of the mountain that melts and flows naturally through the river. So this pen is representing the purity of the water from the frozen glaciers, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. So this pen looks very familiar because this looks like a Sailor Pro Gear. It's about the same size as a Sailor Pro Gear. Now, if you are at all in tune with my collection, you'll probably know that I sold all of my Sailors in the last couple of years, and I haven't owned a Sailor since my Pro Gear Mini, I believe. No, my Pro Gear Slim, which was the Manyo Nuts. And I had sold all of my Sailors because I just wasn't a fan of the nib. It just didn't feel right in the hand. I kind of fell out of love with them. But this one, I just kept thinking about from the first time that I saw it. I saw it at Kirkspear Pen Realms table, and I couldn't take my mind off of it. So I decided to go ahead and purchase this beautiful pen. So you see the silver clip, and then on the band it says WANCHER, made in Japan. And then you've also got the silver hardware here. And then when you open it up, you have that 18 karat WANCHER nib. And this is a fine nib that I had tuned and smoothed by Kirkspear so that it would remove some of that feedback that I don't really like from the Sailor pens. But over time, I've also come to appreciate the crisp line that a Sailor fine nib is. So let's go ahead and compare the size of this to other pens in my collection. So there is the WANCHER in the frozen sake, and then the pen that I find most comfortable is the Esterbrook Esty. You can see the difference in size there. Then the next pen that I can compare to is the TWSBI Eco, and I will compare it to a Lamy 2000. And then last but not least, I will also compare it to a Leonardo Momento Zero so that you can see the size differences between these. So in terms of sizing, the WANCHER is the smallest in length, but I'm looking in terms of the width of the body, and it seems to be slightly narrower than the Lamy 2000 and definitely narrower than the Esterbrook Esty, but probably in line with the width of the TWSBI Eco. So I can see or hear Lucy barking here. One sec. So now here are all of the pens uncapped, and the WANCHER is still definitely the smallest pen of the bunch, and its grip section is definitely narrower than the Esterbrook Esty, but it is actually wider than than what I can see here, the Eco. Now, I don't have a pair of calipers to be able to measure that exactly, so this is just by eye. And then in terms of the nib size, so this is a steel Yovo number 6 nib, and this is an 18 karat nib, and you can see that the size of the nibs is definitely different. It looks like the WANCHER nib is about a size 5 nib. So you can see the differences in sizing there. Let's go ahead and weigh the WANCHER pen and see how much that weighs. Okay, so the pen, capped is 23 grams, and then uncapped it is 16 grams. So a good size pen. I'm just going to move this out of the way here. Now, I normally write, actually, I don't post my pens too often, but I would post a Sailor Pro Gear, so I would be posting this pen. My only concern, and this is just for me personally, is that where the cap sits and where that cap band sits, it's right in the curlicue of my hand, so it might prove a little bit uncomfortable for me. And then in terms of the grip section, I really like that the grip section has a smooth transition to the body, and where I rest my fingers, those threads are not sharp at all. So overall, actually a comfortable pen to hold. I think I'm just going to get a little bit annoyed with that. So I mean, writing with it unposted, it almost feels like it's too small. So I'm going to have to try and find a balance between posting it and not posting it, or maybe holding it higher. I don't know. We'll see. All right, so let's go ahead and ink this pen up. Now, the ink that I decided on, I'm actually still a little bit unsure as to whether it is the right ink for this. This was an ink that was given to me by a friend. It is the Kitty Ink Pot. I don't think it's actually Dissipate the Mist. I think the name is Season 1 Write with Wild. I'm not sure what the name is. Is it Dissipate the Mist or Write with Wild? No, I think it's Dissipate the Mist. Okay, so let's go ahead and ink this up here, and then I'll do a quick writing sample. All right, so here I am in my Hobonichi A5 notebook with 52 GSM Tomoe River paper. This pen profile stamp is from Everyday Explorers Co., and I've linked it in the description below. So let's go ahead and write with this pen. So the brand is WANCHER. Perfect match so far. And the model is, well, what is the model? Hold on. Okay, I'm on the WANCHER website, and it doesn't mention a model. It just says Frozen Sake Fountain Pen. But in terms of sizing, I'm going to just say it is basically a Pro Gear in size. Now, this is a fine nib, and the color is Frozen Sake, and it is inked with Kitty Ink Pot Dissipate the Mist. I was afraid that this ink would be too dry, but it's actually beautiful. This pen captured my eye as soon as I saw it. I love the blue translucent body and how it shimmers. I was a little hesitant about the nib, but Kirk Spear thankfully worked his magic, and it is now smooth yet crisp with less of that sailor feedback that I wasn't really sure about. I am so glad I decided to give WANCHER a try, because upon first impression, I love it. So there is my quick little, and I won't even say unboxing because it didn't come in a box, but my first impressions of my WANCHER Frozen Sake. I'm in love with this. I'm in love with the translucent body. I'm in love with the shimmer, and I don't feel like there's anything I really own that looks like it. Although, saying that, I do have, it's more of a teal, but I'm pulling out my Franklin Christoph. You can see that I'm kind of really leaning towards that teal, and this one is definitely more blue, but it wasn't a color that I would have seen myself really liking, but yeah, big fan. But also this ink actually works really well with this pen. Now this ink actually leans a little bit more green, a little bit more teal. I feel like it's almost similar to the teal waistband from Amarillo Stationery. And I thought it was going to be a little bit dry, but it works really well in this pen, and the way that Kirk tuned this pen, fantastic. Fantastic. I'm looking forward to using this pen in my A6 Hobonichi 5-year journal for the month of August. And I'm going to be bringing it with me to the San Francisco Pen Show because I'll be journaling with it. Oh, so excited. All right, that is it for me. I'm really, I guess, proud. Well, not proud, but happy that I came away from the Pacific Northwest Pen Show with my budget still intact and some budget still left over, but two, with really, really intentional purchases. I spent a lot at the Chicago Pen Show because it was my first big pen show of the year, and I feel like I'm still, I say recovering, but processing all of those new pens and all of the inks. So I'm at the point, I think, in my collection where I'm pretty happy with what I have. Maybe there's one or two, or maybe still a couple that I wouldn't mind, having in my collection, but I'm not in an active pursuit of anything. There's no grail pen that I'm after. There's no big list of pens that I need to have on my wish list. It's more, I'm pretty satisfied with what I have, and I want to be able to continue to use and enjoy what I have. Again, that is it for me. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up and also subscribe. Thank you again, and have yourselves a great day.